Welcome, my beloved Sagittarius souls, both the curious wanderers just discovering this channel and the seasoned cosmic travelers who've been galloping with me for years. This is Zodiac Talks Tarot, your sacred space where astrology meets psychology, ancient wisdom blends with a dash of modern sass, and the stars aren't just distant lights, they're loud, loving messengers with something very specific to say to you today. Now, let's talk about this Sagittarius full moon on June 11th. This isn't just a lunar event, it's a celestial megaphone shouting straight into the soul of the chosen ones. And if that phrase makes your heart skip a beat, good. Because if you're here, you didn't stumble in by accident. The universe nudged you, whispered to you in a dream, or maybe shoved you with an oddly timed déjà vu at the gas station. Either way, welcome to the portal. This full moon is loud, bold, unapologetically heart-centered. It's as if Sagittarius, the Zodiac's wild philosopher and eternal optimist, decided to hijack the emotional airwaves and drop a truth bomb straight into your chest. Have you been crying over dog food commercials lately? Thinking of someone you haven't talked to since MySpace was a thing? Yeah, you're not losing it. That's your heart tuning into the frequency of this rare lunar transmission. And let me tell you something I've learned after decades of dancing with star charts and decoding planetary patterns: when Sagittarius points its arrow, it doesn't miss. Over the next 48 hours, your heart isn't just feeling, it's undergoing a kind of spiritual renovation. Picture your heart chakra as a dusty old guest room, and now imagine the universe kicking the door open and declaring, "We're knocking down walls." Whether you're ready or not, the wiring is being redone. Emotions are being recalibrated. This is sacred chaos, my friends, messy, magical, and wildly necessary. So buckle up. The energy is expanding. Your emotional GPS is rerouting. And if you've ever felt like you were born for something deeper, truer, and maybe just a little more ridiculous in its divine timing, this moon is your cosmic confirmation. Let's be honest, when the moon is in Sagittarius, it doesn't tiptoe in with gentle whispers. No, Sag energy shows up like a cosmic archer crashing through your emotional door, flaming arrow in hand, ready to light up all the dusty corners of your heart. And this full moon? It's not asking for permission. It's firing truth bombs right into your love life, and if you've been hiding behind illusions of fine or it's complicated, well, good luck with that. Because Sagittarius moons don't do subtle. They do truth. Loud, liberating, slightly uncomfortable truth. So what does that mean for you? Clarity, baby. Not the Instagram filter kind. I'm talking real, unfiltered heart truth, the kind that makes you sit straight up in bed and say, "Oh, that's what I want." It's not just about candlelit dinners or some dreamy soulmate montage. This moon is digging deeper. It's helping you realize that what you really crave might be freedom within connection, spiritual intimacy, or just someone who gets your weird sense of humor and your need to quote Ram Dass at brunch. Only those brave enough to drop the masks and get spiritually naked, and I mean metaphorically, people will fully ride this wave. The rest? They'll just feel vaguely itchy and not know why. And speaking of vague weirdness, let's talk about your dreams. Lately, have you been visited by exes you swore were emotionally exorcised? Or maybe random lovers from a timeline that feels almost real? That's not your brain being bored. That's soul mail. These vivid dreams and emotional déjà vus are the subconscious playing matchmaker between your past lives and your future self. And trust me, as someone who's studied both psychology and mysticism, when your dreams start looking like they were directed by David Lynch on a full moon bender, pay attention. The veil is thin right now. Your subconscious is singing karaoke with your karma, and the lyrics? They're full of clues. Let's get one thing straight: Sagittarius isn't here to ask the basic stuff like, "Do you love them?" No, Sag goes full philosopher and shoots the question straight into your soul: have you always loved them, across lifetimes. And in true Sagittarius fashion, it doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, it sends you into a swirl of déjà vu, strange dream flashbacks, and time-looped heart pangs that feel more like scenes from a reincarnated rom-com than actual reality. You know that weird feeling where a casual chat suddenly feels like a reunion scene in a love story you can't remember starring in? Yeah, that's not caffeine withdrawal. That's your soul flipping through chapters of the Akashic records without your permission. This full moon reminds us that love is anything but linear. It's more like a spiral staircase with no handrails, and the chosen ones you know who you are being handed a cosmic map, breadcrumbs included. Except the breadcrumbs are emotional flashbacks, cryptic dreams, and random songs that hit way too hard on shuffle. Sagittarius energy bends time, and when it comes to love, it loves to mess with timelines. So don't be surprised if a text from an old flame pops up the same day you randomly remember their laugh from 2014. That's not coincidence, that's soul math. But just when you thought it was safe to fall into the romance vortex, Venus squares Pluto and says, "Hold my kombucha." Now we're diving into the deep end shadow work in stilettos. If love were a video game, this would be the boss battle level. All the things we like to hide under emotional rugs: jealousy, fear of abandonment, the occasional urge to read their messages while they sleep, yet Pluto's dragging it into the spotlight. But here's the thing, it's not to shame you. It's to set you free. As someone who's spent years decoding planetary patterns and guiding people through these moments, I can tell you, shadow work is where real love begins. So when your inner control freak starts panicking like a toddler denied a cookie, don't freak out. Sit them down, give them some sage tea, and remind them, healing doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up mess, fear, and all and saying, "I'm still here, and I'm ready to love anyway." Right now, if you're finishing someone's sentences without even meaning to, or getting a text from that person just as you were thinking about them, no, you're not going psychic. Well, maybe a little. You're just tuned into the cosmic love hotline, courtesy of Mercury sextile Venus. This alignment isn't some fluffy rom-com nonsense. It's not he's just not that into you. It's more like, he's psychically linked to your emotional frequency and may or may not be downloading your feelings in real time. For the chosen ones, this isn't fantasy, it's encrypted soul data being delivered through the sacred Wi-Fi of the cosmos. And Mercury? He's playing cosmic courier, while Venus sings love ballads through every song that hits just too hard on shuffle. So if your heart starts buzzing like a group chat with the divine, lean in. You're not imagining it, you're receiving. Now let's talk Mars and Leo, because wow, if Mercury and Venus are whispering sweet nothings, Mars in Leo just kicked down the door and shouted, "Say it with your chest." This energy is bold, theatrical, and honestly a little dramatic, but in the best way possible. Mars in Leo doesn't believe in holding back feelings until the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now, and you're the main character. That's right, the cosmos gave you a megaphone, so stop whispering your love and start declaring it like you just won an Oscar. Feeling brave? Good. Now's the time to tell them how you feel. Whether it's "I love you," "I miss you," or "I bought us matching onesies and I'm not sorry," the point is, be real. Be bold. This is Leo fire, we're working with heart-centered, spotlight ready, and allergic to repression. You're not here to tiptoe through love, you're here to roar through it. Let's take a deep breath, Sagittarius, not because something's wrong, but because something huge is shifting. Right now, Jupiter, your ruling planet, is doing backstrokes through the deeply emotional waters of Cancer. And if Sagittarius is the eternal adventurer, then Jupiter in Cancer is that moment on the journey when you finally come home to yourself, the part of you that feels everything, deeply and unapologetically. You might be used to soaring high, chasing truths across galaxies, but this particular transit isn't asking you to go outward. It's asking you to dive inward. Think of Cancer as the Zodiac's emotional hot tub, warm, soothing, but also capable of turning the heat up on anything you've been avoiding. And Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is amplifying that like a cosmic speakerphone. Vulnerability is no longer optional, it's your new superpower. In fact, the more open you are, the more powerful you become. That lump in your throat? That unexpected memory that suddenly brings tears? That's not weakness. That's a sacred crack where light's trying to get in. You'll start noticing something else, too, a sharper intuition about who really belongs in your life. The friends, lovers, family members, even acquaintances, who feel aligned with your soul's evolution will seem to shine brighter. And those who don't? You'll feel it in your gut. And no, that's not last night's faux talking. That's your higher self sending a notification, it's time to clean house, emotionally, spiritually, maybe even digitally. Meanwhile, with the full moon squaring the lunar nodes, the cosmic GPS is screaming recalculating like you just missed an exit to divine love. The South Node in Virgo wants to spreadsheet your feelings and make sure you've analyzed every angle of every text message. But the North Node in Pisces? It's standing barefoot in a stream, whispering, trust, surrender, let go. This square is asking you to choose, do you want love that's controlled and familiar, or love that's transformative and free? And let's be real, if you're a Sagittarius, you didn't incarnate for mild lessons and lukewarm passion. You came here for the wild, soul-quaking, karmic kind of love. The kind that breaks you open just enough to let your spirit breathe deeper. So this moon is your cosmic detour. A reroute. A divine plot twist from the universe. And for the chosen ones tuning in, this isn't a maybe, it's a call to action. So what can you do to harness all this energy in the next 48 hours? Here are 6 soul-aligned actions, not from a self-help book, but straight from the stars. First, create a sacred space. Light a candle. Whisper your intentions. And yes, if your only quiet space is your bathroom, that still counts. Second, write a letter to your soulmate. Even if they haven't shown up yet, especially if they haven't. Third, watch for synchronicities. Repeating numbers, random songs, déjà vu encounters, these are not random. They're spiritual breadcrumbs leading you somewhere beautiful. Fourth, release the baggage. Write down the fears, the I'm not good enough's, the heartbreaks. Then burn them. Literally. Safely, of course. Fifth, move your body. Stretch. Dance. Shake out the energy. Even an awkward interpretive wiggle in your kitchen can break through a stuck emotion. And finally, fire rituals. Gaze into a flame. Let it consume what no longer serves. Sagittarius is fire, after all, use it. Now, what happens after this full moon? The portal doesn't close with the sunrise. This isn't a one-night lunar stand. Over the coming weeks, you'll notice subtle shifts, deepened clarity, surprise reconnect ions, a new kind of calm. Sagittarius shot the arrow. But it's Jupiter in Cancer that ensures you land somewhere soft, somewhere meaningful. The version of you emerging from this portal is more emotionally wise, spiritually rich, and heart-centered than ever before. So if you cried in aisle 4 of the grocery store, or felt a sudden peace while doing the dishes, you're not broken. You're awakening. And if anything in this message landed with you, if it stirred something deep, familiar, and sacred, don't just scroll away. Take a moment. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let someone else know they're not alone on this wild, wonderful ride. Like the video if it moved you. Share it if you know someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot, where we don't just talk astrology, we translate the stars into soulful stories that make you feel seen. Until next time, Sagittarius, live boldly, love wildly, and don't forget to laugh at the cosmic joke now and then. After all, you are the chosen ones. The universe didn't choose you by accident. It chose you because you were always meant to dance with the fire, and come out brighter on the other side.